Thank you, boys. Mini X30 so far this weekend has seen the battle of two top teams, and that is what we are going to see right now. We've got Danny Curl Academy and we have Fusion Motorsport. Danny Curl Academy being one of the newer teams, but really competitive in the British and the likes of the Euro Series right now, with Chester Fawkes, who is our pole sitter for this one. Chester, come this way. Now, you were nearly unbeaten yesterday. You would have been the second driver to be unbeaten. However, Ilias, your teammate, pipped you right at the last second. Tell me how you are feeling before this one.
Yeah, I feel confident. I know I have good pace. I showed it in the superheat where I dropped back and I was able to come back at them on the last lap. So yeah, I think I can come back, and I think I can win.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
That is actually all we have time for right now. This is the battle to watch. Let's get going.
Thank you very much, Keel. This is going to be a really, really tense race. If you've been away from karting for a while, if you're joining just for Kartmasters, if your first time you've been watching the sport this year, firstly, great to have you with us. This has been a set of drivers who've raced not just across the UK so far this year, but across Europe. It has been a joy to watch this class, and all of the big names are at the front. Big thanks to our friends at RGMMC, because this race also acts as a qualifier for the IAME Winter Cup next year. The winner of this race will go on to the first big race in the X30 calendar for 2027. So big thanks to them. They'll get the GP plate, the £600 prize. They'll also get a ticket to the IAME Warriors Final, the global event for this category. And well, it's quite possible that a number of the drivers in this very race will be racing at the front, but that's for later on in the season. This is right here, right now for this GP plate. I really can't call this one, Henry. There's a look at the top 6. In fact, the top 10 have all been in fantastic form so far this week. And let's not forget those drivers a little bit younger, those who have been racing in IAME Water Swift Restricted so far this year. They're all on one grid for this weekend.
Yes, let's do a quick recap. Why are we running a class called Mini X30? Effectively, this is Water Swift and Water Swift Restricted, but running to Water Swift regulations. Minimum age, you've got to be in the year of your 9th birthday to compete. They've combined two smaller grids into one large grid. It does, however, create a slight statistical problem for those with a history of Kartmasters in mind, because this effectively is the British IAME Cadet class, which was originally called Cadet Coma, then Cadet IAME, then Water Swift, but now it's been put together under the Mini X30 bracket, which did run its own class in full-size karts several years ago. So statistically, it's a bit of confusion. This is the original Kartmasters class. However, I'm calling it now, it's Mini X30.
Here's your grid then for Mini X30. Chester Fawkes starts on pole position. Mason Hibbert, the man in form, starts alongside him on the front row. Evan Owen and Alfie Davidson, they're on row number 2. Ilias Sami and Albie J. Stubbs go from row number 3. On row 4, we find James Roots in his second Grand Prix of the afternoon. Dimi Uzanov as well is doing double duty. He starts on row number 4. Bodie Batch and Harry Chapman, they're on row number 5. Ollie West and Ethan Robinson go from row number 6. It's Patrick Wood and Ivan Svoronins, the Dubai-based Latvian driver, starting on row number 7. Caden Hakur is one of the newest drivers to British karting. He starts this first Grand Prix for him on row 8 alongside Reggie Chandler. Cody Vertigan and Corey Lyons go from row number 9. William Bennett and Oliver Kleinfelter will start on row number 10. Theo Tyack and Travis Giddings go from row 11. Frank Morris and Gary the Dragon start 23rd, shotgun on the field. This will be a 15-minute plus 1 lap race.
onboard camera with Dimi Uzanov, the Anglo-Bulgarian driver. This is the original Kartmasters class. Grand Prix number 1 in history was for this category. It was won by Sir Lewis Hamilton back in 1996. Oh, Reggie Chandler doesn't get away at the back. The rest of the field, 2 karts over the grass. Everyone else safely out from underneath the bridge onto the banking. Poor old Reggie Chandler in kart number 47. The kart just isn't running, and the privateer driver with the best combination of race suit and crash helmet design, well, we're not going to see it because he is going to be the first retirement. Everyone else piling around the first hairpin. Chester Fawkes trying to pull away. Mason Hibbert in second. We want to talk about a driver that's recently learned how to win. Step forward, Mason Hibbert. Here is Dimi Uzanov, much further back in the pack than he would have liked to be. That Jade kart, just the Jason Dredge Jade kart, hasn't quite in both classes this weekend. Oh, and a spin. Well, we want to talk about Angry GFX. That's the Angry GFX driver, Travis Giddings, who is now just angry.
Yeah, it's a shame there for Travis. We'll rejoin this race. End of the first lap then. Fawkes leads from Hibbert, Sammy, Davidson, Owen. That's the top 5. James Roots in 6th place at the moment. Here goes Hibbert. This is for the 2nd place battle. Gets back ahead. Reggie Chandler out. Oh, what a shame.
Yep. For the most coordinated driver in the paddock, Chandler is 2nd Kartmasters, or is it the 3rd Kartmasters? I forget. It's over, sadly. Here comes Alfie Davidson, former British Water Swift Restricted Champion, ladies and gentlemen. Now, the Water Swift Restricted, Austin Gibson and Alessandro Salas were the winners the first 2 years. And last year's Water Swift Restricted G-plate holder, we did not have one, did we?
Nope.
No. Now, I wonder, is that a case of why was Travis Giddings spinning at that very point, and now there's a slippery surface flag out? Had something deposited itself in liquid form out of Giddings' kart onto the track that caused the spin, or did he come across something that caused the spin?
Out of Chandler's, which was slow off the line on the formation lap, perhaps?
Oh, Reggie Chandler. I wonder if, well, whatever the liquid is, here we go, and this is the number 95 kart in front of us. That's Cody Vertigan running a bit wide. Now Dimitar Uzanov getting him amongst it. Wheel to wheel, Corey Lyons. Is that Corey Lyons? No, it's not. It is, I think it was Ivans Voronin's right to the left, the right-hand side of onboard camera kart just a moment ago. Thick in the pack. Now, everyone is still running apart from Chandler. The slippery surface flag has gone in. I got a feeling it was Reggie Chandler depositing something on the circuit. I think Travis Giddings might have found it, but I think the sun and the heat has now burnt it off, and we're back to a normal, clean racing surface. Chester Fawkes, 11.5 minutes to go, still leads this race.
He's had 3 heat wins so far this weekend. Been at the front of the field, was a double final winner 1 week ago in the British Championships. Always tends to run pretty well here, Chester Fawkes, but for all of that hard work through the heat and the superheat earlier on this morning, that's just put him in this position. Now the true hard work really begins. Alfie Davidson there in 2nd place, Mason Hibbert 3rd. This whole Kartmasters weekend has almost been like a microcosm of the entire season for these drivers. It started out, the DK Academy. If you're new to that team, that's Danny Curl's team. The 2017 World Champion, won on this very circuit. They started out strong. Then the Fusions came back, and now we've got a 2v2 here. For Fawkes, he could really do with his teammate Ilya Sami getting in the mix here.
There's a lot of talk in karting this year about the scarcity of Water Swift and Water Swift restricted karts. We don't have full grids in the British Championship for the first time in a long time. However, the quality is, I think, some of the best it's ever been, because you've got three, not one, not two, but three of the very best teams at the very top of their game. Each team has drivers who are right at the upper edge of the age spectrum and therefore the experience spectrum. So you've got these three teams, DK Academy, Fusion and Excel Motorsport, all with drivers, none of whom are in a learning year. They all have 2026 marked out as a year where they can win championships both nationally and internationally. It means we have an extremely engaging, interesting, fascinating season that ebbs and flows, fortunes rise and fall like the wave. Chester Forks has been riding the crest of a wave all weekend long, and yet for all the winning he's done, for all the dominating that Chester Forks has done, his lead with 8 minutes and 50 seconds, the Grand Prix still remaining, 1800ths of a second. All that hard work that Chester Forks and the team have put in for the last 2.5 days has gained Chester a grand total of 1 kart length's advantage.
Chester Forks has won plate races before. He won the E-plate at Shannington last year. This is just a little bit bigger, isn't it, for the GP plates? His best results in a final is P8. That was a couple of years ago in the Water Swift restricted race. The thing is, though, for me, Henry, it's that number 33 again, Mason Hibbert, when he took that win up at Lark Hall. That was about 5 or 6 weeks ago. It just lit a fire in this young man. He's since had wins out in Europe. He won in the heat at Wackersdorf as well, which was a really testing win for him. He had a late challenge coming from the driver in 4th place in this race, Ilya Sami. He didn't back down. He got back on the front foot and he got the biggest win of his career to date. But if he was to win this one, that would overtake the victory in Germany.
And of course, Mason Hibbert, he not only, well, at Lark Hall, Mason Hibbert had to win or he would create a very unwanted record. The record for the most podiums in the British Kart Championship without a win is 10. Connor Duncan. Mason Hibbert had 9 podiums without a win until the Sunday final at Lark Hall, where Hibbert, who is your new leader, put on one of the best passes of the entire season to take the victory, and he did it to his teammate, Alfie Davidson, who currently sits right behind him in 2nd place.
Chester Forks is going to need to think back to 7 days ago. He was in a very similar situation at Raura. There was another Fusion driver right ahead of him. He's got to dig deep now over the next lap or so to make sure he doesn't get dropped out of the pack. Tell you what, James Roots is having a great run as well. He's up to 4th place now, ahead of Evan Owen, and Ilya Sami is the DK train on the move back towards the front of the field. Now what happened there with Davidson? Davidson's lost 2nd place. This is Mason Hibbert's chance now to break away. Was that the curb for Alfie Davidson? The rear of the kart seemed to suddenly hop up in the air.
I'm not sure. I mean, unless Chester Forks caught him at a very, very strange angle, maybe just the kart just stepped out from underneath him. We don't know. Hibbert leads Forks, Davidson, Owen. James Roots, here is, give you an example, ladies and gentlemen, of just how mentally tough these drivers are. About half an hour ago, James Roots was leading in Minimax. He could see. Now let's have a look at the replay. It was, Chester. That grip, a tap as Alfie Davidson was turning into the corner. A tap from Chester Forks put Davidson up on 2 wheels. Now, of course, that was a very minor bit of contact. It could have had very major consequences. Now, we were talking earlier. I will get back to my point later. Yeah, James Roots, half an hour ago, could see a GP plate title in his grasp in Minimax. It got taken away last couple of laps. He gets forced back out of the top 5. I think he finished 8th. That disappointment, for me, that would be crushing. For you, that would be crushing. I'm sure for most of you at home, it would be crushing. Getting within 3 laps of a British Grand Prix and then getting shuffled back to 8th. James Roots, at the grand old age of, I think, 11 now, has to reset, go again, and forget that ever happened. It was a little love tap. That, well, it was a little love tap, but the consequences were, well, exuberant to say the least. So, James Roots refocusing, going again, heading towards the front. He is 5th. How hard must that be for a driver on his 11th birthday to reset completely?
Big moment, huge moment in the Grand Prix of 2026. Plus 5-second penalty for kart number 21. Chester Forks has had a 5-second penalty. The officials have looked at that moment, Henry, onto the bridge with Alfie Davidson and adjudicated that it's to the fault of the number 21. Lasting advantage was taken, and it's a plus 5-second penalty. Well, and you've got to say, with the story of how this race is developing, it doesn't 100% rule out Chester Forks' chances, but it's got to be a big, big turn in this race to firstly get ahead of Mason Hibbert and then get 5 seconds up the road.
Unfortunately, very few Mini X30 races this weekend have been won by so much as 5 kart lengths, let alone 5 seconds. Was it a minor incident? Yes. Was the fact that the grip level that tipped Alfie Davidson make it look a bit worse than what it was? Yes. Was it contact? Yes. Yep. Is this a non-contact sport? Yes. If the officials let the smaller bits go, then you'd be criticising the officials for letting Kartmasters happen, wouldn't you? Yes. So the officials are clamping down. We've had 2 excellent races so far. We've got a 3rd excellent race. Yes, we're going to see time penalties, but it is ensuring that we show our sport off in the best possible light as Dimi Uzanov closes in on Ethan Robinson. This is now for the 9th position. Bodie Batch is up the road. Uzanov for the Jade Racing team into the slipstream. Uzanov is 10 seconds behind this battle. Well, Andrew, earlier on I may have said something that I will live to regret. I said, well, it's strange, Fusion, they're not up amongst it this weekend, are they? And, well, somewhere back in the paddock, Jake Dalton's tan and teeth went, oh, my spidey sense of tingling. Henry's talking nonsense about us in the commentary box. Let's go to work, boys. And Fusion run 1 and 2. Ethan Owen is now the leading driver for the DK Academy. You can see the drivers gesticulating. They may not know, they may not all be aware of the penalty situation. Chester Forks, we can really help Ethan Owen out now if he just drags Mason Hibbert into a scrap. And I don't, I think that it's, the problem is that if you let the little incidents go, little incidents happen every single lap, and then they turn into big incidents, and suddenly you've got drivers going to hospital, which is what you don't want. So I applaud the officials for cracking down, personally. Now if they... Well,
last year's race in IAME Water Swift was determined by a moment quite similar to that.
Yes, and Austin Newstead had his GP plate taken off him for a moment like that. And the Fusion boys, it's like flipping the script and turning the calendar back. Who's this up into P2? Soon to be P. It's the Welshman, Evan Owen. I'm going to start singing if the Welshman gets to the front. He's back to 3rd. at the moment. No investigations. Oh, the number 22 kart, Ollie West, has been given a technical flag. The Evolve liveried privateer kart, Ollie West, out of the race. Everybody else, apart from Reggie Chandler, who went out at the start, is still running. And there's a send. Okay, was that Evan Owen? And look at this, the 23 of James Roots. What a way to come back from disappointment. Mason Hibbert is under investigation.
Could this be a near repeat of what we had between Austin Newstead and Christian Kobe in the two lead fusions 12 months ago in IAME Water Swift? Alfie Davidson is sitting there in second place. It's an under investigation at the moment. We'll get you further news as and when we receive it. Alfie Davidson, I think the mindset he's got to be in right now is he can't wait for an investigation to be complete. He's got to get this position on the road and do it now. Chester Forks is there, third place on the road, but has that 5-second penalty from the touch with Alfie Davidson from earlier on in the race. Last lap board is going to be out. Mason Hibbert still has the lead on the road. Alfie Davidson has never been on the podium at Kartmasters before. He's had to dig deep so far this weekend. Davidson's trying to go round the outside. Has he got the momentum? He's got to go the long way round his teammate. No, he can't quite do it. Off of the bridge once again for the last time here this weekend at PF International. Hibbert will defend. Is there a route down the inside for Alfie Davidson? No, not quite this time. Here comes Chester Forks. He knows he's got that +5, but he still wants to try and take it on the road. Out of hairpin 2. What is going to happen here? Davidson's under attack now from Ilyas Sami. Ilyas Sami trying to get himself over to the top 3 on the podium.
Or possibly even the win.
We've no idea how this one is going to end. It's going to end off track. Forks tries to get his nose down the inside of Mason Hibbert. Out of the final 2 corners. The man in form, Mason Hibbert. Oh, there's a big incident there between James Roots and Ilyas Sami, who are out over the line. Here they come. It's going to be Hibbert on the road by 0.02 of a second. Thankfully, both Roots and Sami are out of their carts under their own power. So Evan Owen has come across the line, P9. Alfie Davidson takes third on the road. To be clear, there is nothing yet on our screens.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Mason Hibbert crosses the line first. On that last lap, Alfie Davidson was battling potentially for second place, potentially for the win with Ilyas Sami, James Roots and Evan Owen. The latter 3 named of those conspired to take each other out in an incident. They're both up and walking away, and do you know what? The drivers are walking away together, which tells me that they both knew it was a racing incident. Mason Hibbert. Alfie Davidson does not look happy. He looks frustrated. So, Mason Hibbert, whose dad Will helped supply the track with some of the electrical components that we needed to get ourselves back up and running overnight. Mason Hibbert, it took a long time for Mason to take his first British Championship win. Congratulations going forward there. There's some support. And again, I think he's just saying, you know, unlucky, well done. And who pops up in 4th place on the road, which will become at least 3rd place? Bodie Batch. Ladies and gentlemen, this morning I said that Fusion Motorsport weren't really at the races this year, this weekend in Mini X30. As things stand, Chester Forks has a penalty, Mason Hibbert no penalty. As it stands, it's a Fusion Motorsport 1, 2, 3. I've learnt nothing in 20 years of doing this job. What I have learnt, never count Fusion out.
I'm going to give a slight correction to you there, Henry. It's not going to be a 1, 2, 3 based on Forks' penalty at least, because he's 5 seconds clear of Bodie Batch.
Yes! Well
0.02 behind Hibbert will become 5.02. Batch was 5.61 behind. Now, I know that's going to be no solace for Chester and the Forks family, because they came here with one intention, and that was to win. It's still a first podium ever at Kartmasters. He beats his result from a couple of years ago. The results are provisional at this stage. Hibbert from Forks, from Davidson on the road. Batch, Chapman, Robinson is your top 6. Uzanov, Voronins, Owen and Hakura. Great drive from Caden Hakura. I'm really interested to see where Caden Hakura is in 12 months' time, because his first 6 months at this level have been very impressive.
In January this year, Caden Hakura hadn't sat in a go-kart.
Yeah.
And there he is, finishing 10th in the British Grand Prix. Cody Vertegen walking back with the glasses there, the number 95 privateer driver. He's been a star on our paddock shows as well. You'll notice about the paddock shows, we have, not intentionally, unintentionally, we haven't been to the big teams. It's all been about the privateers, the smaller teams, the real underdog stories that we've chased around the paddock. And that is, and it's of course for Cody Vertegen, one of those privateers, one of those underdogs. It hasn't ended well, but he even said, I've had an amazing time at Kartmasters. Now we wait there. The officials are not going to rush through a decision for the simple reason that we got to get a kart out onto the podium. This is the British Grand Prix. There is an investigation. They will make sure the investigation is complete one way or the other. That is why we're in a delay. And we're waiting. Well, he's going out. The results remain provisional. And Mason Hibbert, the son of former KZ Gearbox driver Will Hibbert, the nephew of another incredibly talented Gearbox and Janetta driver, Tom Hibbert. Tom Hibbert looks after Alfie Mayer. We do have a precedent. Now, last year we had a similar situation. We call the action on the road. The penalties that are applied in race are non-appealable, so we can accurately say, well, this has happened and this driver will finish in this position after the penalty has been applied. So we haven't had a penalty applied. Mason Hibbert is, as things stand, your 2026 Mini X30 Kartmasters British Grand Prix champion, and Keogh Lynch is about to give him his interview.
That is your 2026 GP plate winner for Mini X30, getting his pictures taken. Congratulations, Mason Hibbert. And look at this podium we've got here. We've got a Fusion Motorsport 1, 2, 3. Mason Hibbert, this is the first we're actually hearing from you this weekend. How do you feel?
Yeah, I feel amazing.
And to have, two teammates here behind you, how incredible is it that Fusion gets to get you guys and train you guys to this point where you can do these things together?
Yeah, it's good.
Please tell me how you're going to celebrate with your family, what this means to you.
Champagne, of course.
Champagne, of course. All right, we'll check with your family first. There is your GP plate in all of his glory. Congratulations. There's his family over on the grandstand. Look at that. That is all we've got time for, but we've got Alfie Davidson and Bodie Batch. A brilliant drive for all three of the Fusion drivers here. Let's go back to the box.